Hey guys, sorry about that. Um, I don't know why my phone is saying that I'm not live, but okay. We're live. Hello. Welcome back to Sip with Joy. It is Monday. Don't we all just love Monday? Well, I do because it's Sip with Joy and I get to talk to you guys. So, if this is your first time joining, welcome to Sip with Joy, a show about a girl, her wine, and her feelings. And I am that girl. I am your host, Joy M. Hutton, lover of food and wine, also a serial entrepreneur. And speaking of today's wine, I am drinking a Malbec. I'm going back to my reds, y'all. I was on a champagne and a white wine frenzy for a moment, but now it's back to the red wine. It's raining today. It's cold. Well, it's actually not cold in Houston today, but it's gloomy. It's rainy. Um, anyway, so I'm drinking a Malbec, and my sister's birthday was on the 20th, so this is actually in honor of her. So happy birthday, Gianna! I know Capricorn season is over. Y'all Aquariuses are in the building now, but yeah. So happy birthday to my Aquarius baby in heaven, Gianna, my sister. So I'm drinking a Malbec in honor of her. So yeah, welcome back, guys. It's my 50th episode. I cannot believe it. I keep wondering, should I keep going? But here I am, another Monday, setting myself up for it. So if you're here, say hello to me because I see y'all in here. But today's episode is titled Bigger Than You, Bigger Than Me. And like I said, this is the 50th episode of my podcast, and I did not think I would be doing a solo podcast. I've had a couple of podcasts with other co hosts, my best friend, and did a radio show years back, a business radio show. So, never did I think I would be doing a solo podcast, but this is actually pretty therapeutic for me. And I have learned a lot of things about myself, have learned a lot of things about other people in the midst of this because we have had some great guests. So, you know, as the episode says, bigger than you, bigger than me, this is bigger than me. And I'm gonna continue it until the good Lord tells me to stop and go move on to something else. So as a segue from last week's episode, I want to talk about how when we feel insignificant, we have to take a step back and realize that we are a part of something much bigger. And I know it sounds all touchy feely and stuff, but I think sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we are a part of something bigger. And that was a really good episode last week talking about imposter syndrome because a lot of us doubt ourselves, we don't feel like we're good enough, and so we constantly have to remind ourselves of this. That I know I do. I have to remind myself that you know we're part of something bigger when you want to give up. Like I've been feeling really down at the beginning of this year. I mean, we're only, what is it, 22 days in? Well, we're about to be in February now, but the beginning of this year has been difficult for me. I had a good friend of mine pass, and just some other things have been going on in my personal life, and I'm like, okay, you know what? And so the kind of tone of this year, my first episode was about surrendering because you just got to let go. The second episode was about imposter syndrome, and now here we are talking about bigger than you, bigger than me, because I have to realize that no matter what I'm going through, that there is a bigger purpose in whatever it is. So I was telling a friend last week that we think things will automatically reset when it's a new year, new year, new this, all that. But really, the days just roll over. So whatever you're dealing with is still there. So it doesn't go away. And Beyonce has this song called Bigger for all of you Beyonce fans out there. And it is so powerful. So when you guys get done listening to me talk, go and listen to Bigger by Beyonce when you get a chance. But I think when we get older, I think we often encounter moments when we feel insignificant or we question our place in the universe and we underestimate ourselves. or allow others to define our worth. And we got to stop doing that, okay? Because you are worthy, you are amazing, you are valued, all that good stuff. Hey LC, my Capricorn boo. LC had a birthday last week. Was it the 12th, LC? I think it was the 12th. But our season may be over, but we celebrate all year long because Capricorns are fabulous. We end the year and we begin the year. So shout out to my Capricorn boo right there. But there are so many things like social media or even your own loved ones, even your own friends or family that try to diminish your presence. And Vanessa last week, our guest last week, she talked about this and the impact of social media, how comparing ourselves to others has an impact on our self confidence, our self esteem, our mental health. We be out here, struggling because of what other people are doing. It's not even ourselves. But we have to, again, recognize our own value. Some days I know, I look in the mirror and I feel defeated. And then other days I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, girl, you a bad bitch. And it's like that sometimes. But life gives us no days off, like literally no days off. And we have to continue to grow, heal, and rise above everything that we're going through. And we also have to give ourselves grace and forgive ourselves for things that maybe we didn't feel like we stepped up to the plate. We have to give ourselves self grace, guys. And I have spent so many times beating myself up for dealing with people that I know I shouldn't have, or prolonging friendships that shouldn't have been prolonged, relationships I should have got out of a long time ago, not listening to my intuition. Y'all know I talk about this all the time. But we have to forgive ourselves for not being perfect. We make mistakes, and sometimes they're just lessons that we, didn't necessarily listen to ourselves. But in giving myself grace, I also have had to realize that even though my life is my own, that the decisions that I make do impact others. There are always people listening to you, watching you. Like, I always have people sending me messages and they're like, what, you inspire me. Sometimes I want to just be ratchet online or, just go ham online. But I also have to realize that people are watching and they're listening to the things that I say. So, I don't necessarily try to hold myself accountable to being a role model to others, but I do know that people are watching and people are listening. So I have to pay attention to that as well, and not only just uh, think about myself, because yeah, there are selfish moments that you have, but what you do does impact others. So and then you have to think about like what you are doing is a part of your legacy, and that's part of what Beyonce is also saying in that song too. And I gotta protect my one body, my mind, my soul. And we have to treat ourselves well because we only get this one life, and this is your sanctuary. So you have to think about, okay, how are you protecting your sanctuary and where else can you find solace? I have friends that are my safe place. My family is a safe place. So think about where you can find your own sanctuary. And I think as women, as black women, we carry a lot of other people's burdens. And you hear people embracing the soft life and soft era, and it's because we got tired. Anybody else tired? I'm tired. And we just don't always want to be strong. Like, it is really a thing. We are tired. People are tired of always fighting on the job, fighting with partners who don't value you. Like, it's exhausting. And, life has a way of unfolding and revealing these layers of complexity, especially as you get older. And it's good for growth and, self realization and self actualization. But again, it's exhausting because you don't always want to be like, oh, well, that's the lesson in that. And yes, I'm healing, I'm growing. You don't always have those feelings about it. And so, at the end of the day, we are who we are because of what we go through. And I was telling someone the other day, as painful as my divorce was for me, I have absolutely no regrets about being married because it played a huge role in who I am today. And I've talked about this on the podcast. Like, I felt like I was a little girl in that marriage. Now I'm a grown ass woman, but I had to go through these things. And if it wasn't that, it probably would have been something else that wasn't so smooth. We get to where we're supposed to go, and there may be some bumps along the road, but it happens. And we often find ourselves at a crossroad, whether it's navigating career changes, family dynamics, again, relationships, but we can also be a testament to others. And I struggle with that sometimes because I'm like, I don't want to be a testament to others all the time because that means I have to go through these struggles. But it's a part of life. And so we're a testament to others in the midst of our trials. And, it's called wisdom. I got these gray hairs hiding in here because of all this wisdom, okay? So, it's a part of life. All right. So, speaking of bigger, so y'all know how I love Issa Ray. So I'm moving into the what the sip. And Issa Rae used to have this web series called Awkward Black Girl before she even started Insecure, before she blew up. And I think about, like, what if Issa just gave up if when her show didn't take off, and if she didn't have this claim to fame, with Awkward Black Girl and whatever. We wouldn't have Insecure. We wouldn't have a lot of shows that Issa had. And so I always think about, okay, don't stop, don't give up, whatever it is that as cliche as it sounds, there's something bigger than you. And so, but I'm mentioning Issa Rae because two of her shows got canceled on HBO. They did not renew for a third season. A show called Rap Shit, which I'm really upset about because it was like, you had got your one ratchet show that you watch. And so Rap Shit was one of mine. And so it was two seasons. They did not renew her for a third season. And then her show Sweet Life, which was with the little teeny boppers, but I liked it. But there's strength in numbers, and at the end of the day, it's all about that bottom line. But what I was thinking about is all these other black shows that were getting canceled, and people are in an uproar about it because they're like, how are all these black shows getting canceled? You have other shows on TV that are absolute trash that get renewed for 5, 6 seasons, and we can't get past a second season. So again, it's like, what's the bigger picture here? We don't know. Grand Crew got canceled, and that was a good show. They used to meet in the wine bar. That was right up my alley. But they got canceled, and I'm like, dang, well, what are we going to watch on TV now? Oh, excuse me. So, I don't know. Y'all let me know what to watch on TV because I don't know what to watch now because they have canceled all of my good shows. But I think, when I think of someone like Issa Rae, she is just a bomb ass person. And you don't see her until she pops out with something and she's like, oh yeah, I did that. She's got a Prosecco called Via Ray, which I featured. She's got coffee shops. She's got a media company, So again, if she had just stopped at her web series, if I had just stopped at Sip with Joy, who knows where I'm gonna go with this? I don't know. But if y'all don't continue to show up, well then I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. But there's always something. I know for me, God has a plan for my life, and I'm gonna roll with it. So I appreciate you all who do show up every week and who do tune in after the episode has aired, and you listening on the podcast networks, you watching it on YouTube. I appreciate you all. So you all know when I do these episodes by myself, I be in and out, especially when y'all ain't talking in the chat. So I'm just talking to myself and drinking my wine. So this is going to be a real quick. This is probably the quickest episode I've ever had today because sis is tired. Like I said, I don't always want to be strong. So I just want to leave you guys with this. We are a part of something way bigger than our individual struggles, bigger than societal expectations, and bigger than the challenges that we face. So with that, y'all, I'm gonna see you next week. We're gonna have a guest next week, and that's when I really get chatty because I have someone to actually talk to. So I'll see you guys back here next week. Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. This is my 50th episode, and I'm gonna leave with that. Bye.